Welcome to Don't Whistle at Night podcast, where Navajo legends echo in the shadows. Darren and Dawn will guide you through the sacred fire of native storytelling, where the old stories breathe, the unknown walks among us, and voices, long hidden, rise to be heard. And remember, don't whistle at night.
Hello, everyone. Hi, hello. Welcome to Don't Whistle at Night. We're broadcasting live here on the United Public Radio Network, 107.7 FM in New Orleans. I am your host, Don Yazzie. With me, my co-host is Darren Yazzie. He'll be here when he can. And we have a guest that will be joining us shortly. And his name is Kamrin Toadlena. And I'll have him introduce himself when he gets in here, if he does. Hopefully. Hope everyone's doing well tonight. Hey, what's up, that girl? AZ Lyman, what's up, Mr. Curly? Hey. Hey, I'm glad you're enjoying them. Shadow IDK, hello, Shadow. Much love to everybody out there. Double D's on cam. I made it. Yeah, I saw that, man. I saw that. Yeah. So, we are happy to give you another episode. And Happy New Year to everybody. I hope everybody is enjoying your day and your new year so far. Batgirl, ready for another awesome show. We'll see. Hopefully everyone shows up tonight. Text everybody. Darren's gonna show up though, that's for sure. He's just setting up his laptop he got in from Arizona. So glad he made it home or made it back to Texas. Yep. Just waiting for everyone to join. That's all. Yeah, that's how tall I am. I'm 6. AI is weird. I don't know how yeah, it's just weird. I'm just using it as a tool just to, divert everyone to come to the podcast. We're talking about gargoyles. We're talking about oh snap, he didn't get it. Okay. All right. Bear with me, guys, as we send our guest of honor. Yeah, sorry. Okay, I did spell it right. Okay, send him another one. So yeah, I am 6 foot tall. I'm not the tallest in my family. All my little cousin brothers, my little brother, he's like 6'2". My cousins are 6'3", 6'1", 6'2", and yeah, I'm 6 foot. So the older one's usually the shorter one, right? All right, I sent him the email, and when does the new show start, or is it still a secret? No. Hey, what's up, true to my tribe? Hello. And let's see here. Did I miss any more comments here? True to my tribe says, wait, what exactly? Who exactly is Gigi Lips? Oh, hey, there's Darren.
Hey, what's up, guys? Kind of a bit
There
late.
he is. Oh, yeah. It's all good, though. Better late than never.
Hello?
Yeah, he says
Oh,
he
okay.
didn't get the email, but I don't know what the issue is here. Let's see here. Okay, Doug.
So, how's the world turning on your side?
Oh, it's going good. Just trying to get everyone in. Trying to get
All right.
everyone in and just relaxing and just just hanging out, just hanging out and saying hi to everybody and reading the comments. Let's see here. Okay, AZ Lyman, the series, it's still in QC. I guess we found the issue on episode 7. Guess some of the sound quality, they really are really picky, so we had to get the sound and the caption right and the subtitles right, and some of the sound might be too loud, and so my producer had to send it to a professional where he's getting it done professionally and should be ready soon, and I'm just waiting for um when to shout when it'll be ready and where. But the good thing about all this is about that is it's getting more polished to be like on Netflix and all the streaming services. So that'll be good, and as soon as it gets ready, then we'll put it out there. And Darren and I were gonna be going. Darren and I, the team, um, our 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 team member Lee, he suggested a team chat, so we did all the chat. So we're gonna be out in Farmington area, hopefully the second week of February, and we're gonna be looking around where people say, "Don't look this way, stay out of there," because okay, we'll be over there. Car Bear 9 says, "Can the man, huh?" Yeah, we're trying to get him on, Car Bear 9. Trying to get him on. I guess he's not getting an email, I guess. Which is okay. Yeah, let's see here. Hey, thank you, Vet Girl, for welcoming everybody in. Appreciate that. Hey, Mr. Koshel, good evening.
Ready for another for this episode right here. Yeah, it's been we have Z Sun Dragon 6461. Hey, welcome back.
Yeah. Hey, thank you for welcoming everybody. Same here, AZ Lyman. Same here. You enjoy them tacos down there in San Diego, bro. He's always telling us how good the weather is in San Diego. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah. Hey, Melody. Hey, what's... Yeah, let's see here. Okay. All right. He said try this one. Okay. So lowercase. All right. Let's try the lowercase.
Yeah, but in the meantime, after our New Year's episode, we actually talked a bit about this Goatman character. One story that popped up about the Goatman in the Gallup, Lee's story, lady story. We had two colliding stories of people that never met each other, and only this is the first time they talked with one another, and stories collided. And I can't get over the expression of Maddie when they talked about the bells that they were hearing in the city, and that was the goat man walking around. I was sitting there afterwards telling my family about it, and I could just see the expression of Maddie just in shock. It's like, is that what that is? And I was like, damn, bro, that was a live reaction, which is really good, and that's what it's about. So, but in the meantime, we made it back to Odessa, back to the gray, this land of gray out here in Odessa. Gotta do work, gotta do it. this year. We got a lot going on, and I can't wait. I can't wait. Um, this is our first episode into the New Year's, so uh, kind of a blunder right now. But in the meantime,
There he
you,
is.
And
you make it. All right,
Yep.
all right,
Hey,
right
there
on.
he is. It's an
hey,
honor to have you. All right. Okay. Let's get the show going now.
Yep.
All right, everybody. Darren and I are pleased to introduce you to Mr. Cam, the man, right here. You can find him on TikTok. He's one of the TikTok's most favorite storytellers, one of my favorite storytellers as well. And Darren, you are in for a treat. Let's just look at your face for your reaction, okay? Because I have these stories and I love them, man. But okay, Cam, go ahead and introduce yourself in your own words.
all right. So my name is Kamrin Toadlena, and I actually live in Gallup, New Mexico, and I'm a plumber by trade, and also by heart I'm a hunter. That's what I
Hmm.
am. Sorry, let me turn on this TV really quick. But I grew up hunting, and that's like my true passion, and did it ever since I was 8 years old because my dad introduced me to it, and from there on, I've just been an outdoor person and just been, everything else. But um, family man, married, wife and kids, believer of God and everything, and that's who I am.
No, that's
A lot
very
of
good,
reasons
man.
why a lot of reasons why you're a believer of God. That's we're gonna get into that real soon.
Oh
Yeah.
man,
But Darren, what were you gonna say? Sorry, didn't mean to
Oh,
cut
like
you off.
no, no. It sounds like you got it all. You got that good life. Hunting, wife, kids, house. You got everything right there, buddy. Happy for you.
I appreciate it, man. And also, just to let you know, I've been 10 years sober too. Tells us in November was
Oh,
10.
right
Heck
there, bro.
yeah,
That's what it's about. Also,
yeah.
that
That's the new
alcohol.
trend we should go for.
Yeah, that new alcohol is the. It wants everybody. Alcohol. It wants everybody. It's not biased at all. But the only
Exactly.
the bad thing about it is, she wants everything you have, and the alcohol will take it from you. So I'm glad, dude. I'm even happier now that you got that sobriety. People want it and chase it, and some can't catch it. And it takes them. So I'm happy for that.
Yeah.
Uh, I'm happy to have you on for the first episode of the new year, and let's get it, bro. Let's see the. I'm really curious. Don was telling me about it. He had a big old smile on his face. So, like, like he'll you got some good stories. So for
Yeah.
that.
Um. Oh yeah. Thank you for that, Darren. Mr. Kim, go ahead and take us back to the your very first experience of the high strange.
So the very first
Take
time it
your
was
time,
like,
no rush. Uh-huh.
no, I'm good. So like Bigfoot and everything is like I used to hear stories about it, and as a little kid, I was kind of fat, like really got a hold of me and saying like, there's this big hairy guy, and then of course, the Gimli film and everything came out, and then um, at these parties I used to go to with my parents and everything, like family members would all talk about other individual stories about they ran into Bigfoot, they ran into this, and they saw this, and I was like, man, is there really something out here like this out here on the reservation? And next thing you know, that I think it was probably 12 or 13, and this is when during the springtime we got me and my dad got a turkey tag, and we were both hunting for turkey, and then we ran into one of my actually he's my uncle, but he's my dad's friend in reality. But I just said, hey, there's this truck, and then we kind of came up to him, and then he was eating lunch, and we're eating lunch together, and he was with another guy, and then we're just kind of talking, and we're sitting on the tailgate on top of this mountain, and then here we heard a turkey gobble. Then I was like, he goes, oh damn, let's go. So we kind of walked in there and just real thick stuff, real quietly, and then making the calls, making everything, and then next thing you know, My dad just goes, hey, he goes, just sneak up to that ledge. Maybe it's going to come up real quiet. So I did that, snuck up, and then I just kind of waited there for a little bit, and nothing came up, nothing sound, got the turkey stopped gobbling. And then I was kind of walking real slow back to my dad, and then I guess him and my uncle were talking, and then they were like, I kind of overheard him say, yeah, this is what happened this morning. And then my dad goes, what, are you serious? He goes, yeah. So then I was like, what the heck? What is he talking about? So then after we kind of sat there for a little bit, we kind of took off, and my dad goes, hey, he goes, something happened to him this morning. He goes, something was throwing rocks at him. And I go, what? And he goes, yeah. And here he told me the story. He said that they got to this area where there were some turkeys that they found the night before, and then they parked their truck against the hill, and they were getting ready for daybreak and everything. And then here he said that out of nowhere, they heard something hit the ground, and they looked out the window. And then here he goes, what the heck was that? And both of them look at each other. And then here he said that they thought it was stuff falling from the trees. And then they did it again, but it was on the driver's side this time. Big old rock fell. Boom. And he's like, what the heck? And then they were about to get out of the truck. And then here he said, next thing you know, he said this rock was the size of a pumpkin, got thrown, and almost hit the back of the truck. And then here they said, let's get out of here. And then they drove, and as they were driving, little rocks were being thrown from them on top of this hill. And I was like, dang. And then I just thought maybe it was another hunter messing with him. And then he said that they even took a picture. Of course, this is when the flip phones were, with the cameras were coming available. And then they showed a picture of it here. It was a big old rock, like I said, the size of a pumpkin. And then he said, yeah, because this thing fell from the hill, or it was thrown off from the hill, and it hit the ground hard. So then that was like the one encounter that we had. And then go up a little bit, like when I was 15 and 16, we had this is when the reservation used to have late archery deer hunts in January. So we drove on this road back in this area where it's a big old sagebrush flat. And then I remember we used to see a lot of deer in there, a lot of deer, a lot of everything. And then we're just kind of like, I was like, man, where are all these deer at? And then me and my dad were just kind of talking, and we're kind of just driving around. And then this truck, a single S10 truck, and it was a grandma and a grandpa. And they said that, what are you guys doing? And we told them that we're hunting, and we're hunting deer. We have tag, and we're just trying to fill the freezer. Basically, we're just trying to tell them that. And then here, I said, and here, that's when he goes, yeah, there used to be a lot of deer in here. We said, we're telling them that. And then here, the Che goes, he goes, oh, it's that Mookie. And then I looked at him. Me and my dad both looked at him. And then here he goes, I said, he goes, what? He goes, yeah, there's a big old monkey that comes off that mountain right there. Then he goes, he comes down, and then those deer will be in the field right here. And then he goes and chases them, or he stalks them. And then that's when he goes, yeah, he goes, once in a while we'll hear him yell, we'll hear him scream, but he goes, we live way back on this side, but we can hear him do it. And it's either in the morning or at night. And then I was like, what the heck? So then I saw, he goes, well, he goes, just be careful. I go, oh, no problem, we're good. So then we took off, left that area in the morning, and then I said, I don't know about that. And I go, well, so we're not seeing any deer. Then we went to this other spot, this really thicker spot, and then we're driving in there, and then next thing you know, we ran into this lady. Her and her grandma were in the truck, and then of course asked us what we were doing, and I said, yeah. And then they asked us if we seen any old trees that were laying down, like I guess for firewood. And then I said, we saw some back here on this road. And then here, as we're about to we did a little talk, but we were like, let's just drive. Let's just get out of here and say goodbye. And here she was like, oh, she goes, be careful. My mom said, I guess her mom was talking Navajo. Then she said, yeah, so that's the only thing I heard. Then I kind of like looked at, and my dad was just looking at him. She goes, yeah. He goes, he walks around in these trees and just be careful out here. My mom said that she saw him last time when she was out here by herself getting wood. And I was like, what the heck? And then after that, we just kind of, me and my dad just like, no, let's just call it a day. We'll go home and we'll just leave it like that. So we did. And that was like the last encounter and everything, our last thing we had. And then fast forward to 2012 and 2013. I was kind of going through some stuff. I was kind of having like, how would you say, like going through my depression, I guess you want to say.
Yeah.
And then I had an ex-girlfriend at the time, and she was like, "Oh, well, it kind of everybody was kind of talking about free fishing," and I told her about it, and she was like, "Hey, I've never been fishing before, so let's go." And I go, "All right, no problem, let's go." So bought everything, bought the license, the reel, how about fishing and everything. Then I said, there's gonna be a lot of people that are going to be on the free fishing day. I go, I know a place that's deep in the mountains that where we can go, and we'll probably be the only ones up there, maybe less people. Then she was, all right, let's go. So of course we left. And of course it was middle of the afternoon, and that road that I'm talking about, it's the one that goes to Berlin Lake, and that road is rough, bad, and then we had to take our time going up there. Eventually, we made it there maybe an hour before it was getting dark, and then I told her, I said, let me just throw my rod out there, see if I can catch anything. So I did that, walked to the lake, and then she was kind of getting some stuff ready for dinner and everything, and then I was just sitting there. And then next thing you know, I heard something yell. Then I was like, what the heck is that? And I kind of looked around, and then the other side of the lake, there was somebody already there, but they were already like reeling in the fishing poles and getting ready to sleep in their truck that night. So I thought it was them playing their radio or something, and then kept fishing. And when the sun was barely going down, I remember, and then I heard it again, but the sound was like, and I was like, what the heck? And then I looked, and it was toward the west, and that's where the sun was going down. And I was just like, I think I just heard someone scream or something screaming. And then after that, I heard it again, same sound. Then I was like, and I was trying not to freak out, but I was just like, maybe it's those cows, because you know how cows make that sound. I just reeled my fishing pole and then threw it in the back of the truck. And then she goes, hey, do you want to put out the tent? And I go, no, just leave it. We'll just sleep in the truck. And then, of course, I always take a handgun with me everywhere I go in the mountains. And then, of course, she was like, hey, should we block off the windows and everything so those guys won't get any funny or do funny things at night? I was like, yeah, no problem. So we covered all the windows up, put the sun visor up and everything, and just blocking the windows. And then I just remember that we both fell asleep. And then next to know, she started hitting my arm, and she's like, they're flashing their high beams at us. Then I was like, what? She's like, those people across the lake, they're shining their high beams at us. Then I was like, what are you talking about? So then I kind of got up, I kind of pulled out a visor and I looked out. And just then, that truck drove real fast by us, and it was honking its horn at the same time. Then I was like, and I looked at her, I go, that's not creepy at all. And then she was like, what's going on? I said, I don't know, but they took off in a heartbeat. And then she was like, maybe we can just go back to sleep. And then after that, I kind of had that funny feeling. And I was just like, you know what? I said, we're going to be the only ones up here by ourselves. And we're about an hour 30 from the main road. I said, let's just drive back down. We'll stay by the main highway. Then in the morning, we'll go back up. At least we'll be safe. We'll be able to get away. And then she's all right, no problem. So I didn't get out of the truck. I didn't get out of anything. And then I just jumped over the seat, put down the visors really quick, turn on the truck. And then this lake, you had to drive right by it to leave it. And then there's a bunch of washes in there, and some of them get real bad from the snow and the rain. So then we did that. And right when I was going, I did that turn around that lake. And then that's when I turned the high beams on. And right when I hit that last bump, I popped up, and then there was something big standing at the edge of the lake, but it was like crouched down, and it looks like it was like putting its hands in the water. Then I was like, what the heck? I go, did you see that? She goes, yeah, I saw it. And then that's when I kind of went, and then here she's like, just go. I said, I can't. I go, we might blow a tire right here. This part is real bad. It's a wash right here. So then I was just kind of taking my time going up, and then she grabbed my arm, and then she goes, it's hanging on to the tailgate. I just saw it, and I was like, what? And then I stepped on the gap. I just stepped on the truck, and then I took off up that hill, real quick, and then I was like, if I had to drive on the rim, I'll do it. And then I got on there, and then I started driving as fast as I could. And right before I got maybe 100 yards down the road, something went and hit the truck, the passenger side. Then the whole truck shift, boom, almost went off into the ditch. Then I was like, oh crap! And then yeah,
right
we
there.
made it. Or go ahead.
Just before you go on, man. What handgun? What kind of handgun? Can't even speak now. What kind of handgun do you carry with you?
Well, back then I was carrying a 9, but now I carry a Glock 10 mil now.
Oh, do you
Oh
think?
yeah, I carried 10. Yeah, I carried
Yeah.
10 now. But sorry, yeah, go ahead. Sorry,
Do
Darren.
you
Go
think
ahead.
this handgun would have done anything?
Not with this one. What we saw,
No.
because
And also,
it was a 9 mil, and it was, and of all things too, it was behind my driver's seat in the pocket. And at one point I told her, I said get the gun, but right when I was about to say that, the whole truck shift, poof, like here,
yeah.
that bump, and I was
Wow.
like, oh crap, and then I took off.
And also, what size vehicle was this?
This was an F-150,
Oh
Ford
shit!
F-150.
Wow, so it
Single
must have had a
cab or
lot.
extended cab, huh?
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
So
that's
you-
pretty.
It's the XLT one.
Oh yeah,
Well,
those are pretty heavy.
did it
Man.
leave any marks on your vehicle, or what did it do? Did it hit it, or did it run into it, or?
So I'm getting to that part really quick.
Okay. All right.
So, and so we made it down to the main road. We just camped there at night, and then we're all kind of like in shock about it and everything. Like, what was that? Like, I don't know. And then we just kind of like eased up and fell asleep. And then next thing you know, we just kind of woke up, and then we heard 2 vehicles turn into that road. It goes up to the lake, and then I go, know what? I go, there's 2 people ahead of us. Let's just drive up there and we'll follow them. So we did that. We drove all the way back to the lake, and then we spent the whole day free fishing, just catching fish. And then right when we got up to the lake, that's when I said, you know what? Let me check the truck out really quick. And then I got out the driver. Of course, we're at the lake at this time. And then I got out, and I was like, nothing done to the driver's side. And then when I got to the tailgate, there was a smudge mark like this.
Mm.
And then my fingers are, let me get this stand real quick. So the smudge mark was like that. And I put my hand in it, and it was like this on both of them. And I guess that's when it was in the water. And then where it hit the passenger side, where the truck went off, that's when I went around the other side. And then here there was a handprint like this, like something like hit it, and where it hit it, there was a dent mark on the truck, on the fender like that.
Oh shoot!
And then I got my hand like that, and here it was just covering my hand. It was big part like that, like I said.
Wow.
One finger was like that. And then we did take a picture of it, but she has that camera, so I don't want to bother with that.
Wilson Darren to retrieve.
What happened?
But yeah, because when I took the picture, I was like this. You can see my reflection off the truck, and then I took a picture of that. Then you can see the hand like that, the hand mark like this.
It's all oily too, huh? It's like greasy.
Yeah, it was kind of like oil, greasy, and of course the dust kind of caught it. And then, but like I said, we saw everything on that truck, and then I was like, what the heck? And then
wait, one second. Going back, when you're just for the viewers, when he said magitso on his one of his first stories, translation that means like big giant monkey. So just the non-Navajo speaker listeners out there. But yeah, sorry. But Darren, you have any questions?
Wow, you you guys had this encounter, and then you just went down the road and went back to sleep. Wow, dude, that's crazy. I think that's wow, that's a lot of guts, man. A lot of guts.
Yeah, but that's just the beginning of the story. I got more something to tell you about, but we'll get to that in a second. But anyway, like of course that day we finished out fishing, and then I was showing her how to gut the fish, and then everybody at the lake was leaving. They were all driving off and everything. And then I was loading up the truck, throwing the chairs in, throwing the pole, just everything. And then next, the same spot toward the west, I heard that same sound, that ooh. and I was like, I looked real slow, and I was like, did I just hear that sound again? And then I looked at her, and then she didn't hear it. And then I walked kind of quickly to her, and I was like, "Hey," I said, "we need to get." I said right before I said we need to get out of here. I said because right when I said that, and then that thing went real loud to where the last four people that were fishing, they heard that too, and then they all left. We all took off from that lake and everything. Then she freaked out. Then she was like, "Damn, that thing's out here." I said, "Yeah, I know." And then that's where my kind of like an encounter happened. Not just by seeing one crouch down, but then yeah, then that's when I told everybody like what happened to us that day, and that kind of like within my family and everything. Everybody was like, "Man, you should take us to that spot. You guys should take it." I said, "No, it's up there. You can go and check it out." I said, but I said, just be aware. I said, whatever is up there, it's big. That's all I said. And then that's the end of my second story. And
Okay, 1 second.
go
Sorry. Take your time here. This is not TikTok. Take
Oh man,
it
no
easy. He's on a roll over there. But let's get the some of the viewers right here real quick. Um hey man, hey Evie Lyman says it's been raining 6 days straight there. Hey man, send it this way to St. George, man. We need some out here. Utah. I don't know how it is in Texas, but I think we'll take all that rain over there. Okay, real quick here. Uh Car Bear 9. Oh man, thank you. We hope so too. We hope
Yeah.
we flourish
Thank you.
well.
Thank
And you as well. You as well in your life and your kids and everything. Thank you very
you.
much for your kind thoughts and wishes. BCast 33. Yay, man, you
Hey,
sure
hey,
are.
thank you.
Got some stories. Oh yeah. Right here, let's see here. Car Bear 9. Yeah, his stories are good. Found him on Sean's live TikTok. Same here. That's all about Sean's life. It's a good life. Um, Batgirl, awesome sauce and sure is. Mika James,
Hey,
yep. So we all like the stories already. Jay Clark, good evening, everyone. Likewise, Jay Clark, thank you. Oh, Mr. Lee, hey, good evening, brothers. How's it going, Don, Darren, and Cam?
Hey man, pretty good.
Yeah. And then Jay Clark. Oh yeah, good evening. Thank you, Jay Clark. Fabian Perez, Mr. Fabian, bros. Good evening, amigos. Cameron, hola, amigo.
what's
Hold
up,
on,
baby?
amigo.
Nivea's Angel. Hey, what's up, Nivea? Hello,
Hey,
Don, host Darren, and guests. And she says, don't forget to smash that like button, folks. That helps out the show immensely. That's right. Thank you,
yep.
Nivea. Thank you for reminding me. Oh, let's see here. See here. Oh man, hey, yeah. Thank you guys for if you joined us with Sean Kelly. I keep forgetting to mention him every time we go live. Thank you, Z Sun Dragon.
Yep.
If you guys are watching, join us from Sean Kelly. Make sure you guys tell him that we wish him a very happy pumpkin spice New Year. He doesn't like pumpkin spice, so I mess with him. I say, hey, how about pumpkin spice? Nivea. Oh, it raining in Arizona? Oh yeah, send it this way. Okay, we're almost done here, guys. Heidi Gold. Good evening, Don, Darren. Much love from Boulder. Thank you,
Hey,
Heidi.
what's up, Heidi?
All right. And we are okay. Now the mic's yours again, Cameron. Go for it, brother.
No, like I know you said not like TikTok, but I mean that's some of these stories. It kind of gets me like the chills. I don't know if you ever feel like that. Like when you tell a story, you get those
You love it? Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
because that's how I am. I'm just like dang, like kind of think about all this stuff again. But yeah, like I said, when I got on TikTok telling these stories, the first time I was just like, why am I on here? Why am I? And next thing you know, I just became like really good with the stories, and everybody likes my stories, everything I tell. but but anyway, go on to my fast forward to 2015 or 2014 to 16. This is the year that kind of I went through my bad years, like I want to say. But
Yeah, it happens. It happens.
yeah. So, but I remember that I went through the separation, and I ran into one of my old high school friends, and they were like, "Hey, we're gonna go camping and this and that, blah blah." I said, "You want to come with us?" I said, "You can meet everybody again." I said, "No problem. Let's go." So then, of course, I went back home. I grabbed all my stuff and excited to be out in the mountains. And this was during the summertime. And then later that night, when he was about to pick me up, he texted me and he said, "Hey, also make sure you bring a gun because there's some stuff that happens out here." And I'm like, um, okay. So I was like, kind of got my guard up there a little bit, and then that's when, well, at this point, I had a tactical 12 gauge shotgun and I had a 9 at this point, same handgun, same everything, and then took all the stuff like I usually take hunting, and then we went, and we got to this place, and then I remember that she had to open a gate to get in there, and we got in there. There was a hogan, and there was a shade house, and of course there was a fire pit, and then we got there. We're just made up camp, and when I sleep in the summertime or yeah during the warm times, I just throw a tarp in a sleeping bag. That's all I put down on the ground, and that's all we all did. Build a fire, and then we're kind of just telling like things about this and that, and then he goes, "Hey, if we continue walking down this road, there's an old hogan down there, and that's where people used to live at." I go, "Really?" He goes, "Yeah, it's about maybe a mile or two down the road. We can, but he goes, you had to walk on it." So, "Oh, no problem. Let's go." So we did that, and I remember it was like, man, it was like maybe 11 or 12 o'clock at night. We did this, and there was 6 of us. We all went down there, and then my buddy, he had a AR-15 with him, and we just kind of walked down there, went made it all the way down there, and then we're just kind of goofing around, taking pictures in the dark, and just messing around. You know what guys do when we go camping. And then that's when we're like, "Oh, all right, let's go back up. Let's start walking back up." And then we're kind of walking on that road again, and of course it's kind of between two hills, two mountains. And then we're walking on this road, and I remember that my boot got loose, and then this guy walked ahead of me, and we were laughing, and got down, was tying my shoe, and then next thing you know, I just heard, I don't know if you ever guys feel this, but my instincts kicked in. I felt something was wrong. I felt, I don't know how you felt. You felt out of place.
Sure. Yeah.
And then I kind of was like, I go something, and then that's when I kind of felt like something was watching me. And then I was looking around, and then of course, I was crouched down, and I looked to my left or to my right, and I was looking, and then here I saw something going to tree, sneaking, and it was going like this, real like through the trees, real quiet, and then even to where like when I was just sitting there, it's kind of weird because my hearing picked up too, and then I could hear it step on a branch just real quietly. Then I was like, and then that's when I got up and I was like, I got to get to these guys real quick. So I ran up and I caught my first buddy and I grabbed his shoulder and I said, we're being followed. And then here he goes, "What?" And I said, "Don't look, don't look, don't look. Just keep walking." And then at this point, his guard was up. And then I said I said, "We're walking together." And I said, "Look to your right." But I said, "Get down real slowly." I said, "Let me get on the other side of you." So I got on his right side. Then I said, "Get down on the ground, and actually you're tying your shoe." So he did that. And then I kind of got away from him. And then that's when I kind of like kept looking back and see where he was at. And then that's when he jumped up and he kind of ran real fast. And he goes, "I saw it, I saw it, I saw it." And then I was like, "I told you." And then he goes, "Let's catch up to the other guy." So we caught up, and then we started telling everybody in that line. We're all walking, and we're telling. And my buddy had the AR-15. He got like freaked out. He gripped his rifle, and I said, "Hey, let me." And I said, "Just keep walking, just keep walking." And then then where this road goes to, it trails, and then right where it comes to a point, all these trees, it's like thick around it. And then I said that it's either going to try to grab one of us or it's going to jump out or do something because the way it's creeping. And then that's when I got next to my other buddy and I was like, "Hey," I said, "Let me get ahead of you, but walk past me, then I'll crouch down again. So I did that, and then all my buddies, they walk right next to me, and then that's when I kind of got it real slow behind a tree, and I got my shotgun and all that. And I forgot to. I left the porn part. This was happening on the full moon, so we saw everything. So that's how I was able to see it. And then I was just looking, and then here I had my shotgun like this against a tree, and then that thing didn't see me, and it kept going, walking, and it was doing the same thing. It was going like this behind by those trees. It was just going like that, like crawling, almost literally crawling. And then
quiet too.
Yeah, it was quiet. And
wow.
Then
okay.
Jeez. It was a opening at least about 3 or 2 feet. It was an opening, and I said that when it comes out, I'm just gonna boom, just let it happen. So right when it did that, it hesitated for a little bit, and then after that, it grabbed this tree, then it grabbed the other one like this, and it took a real giant step, and then that's when it went boom, and then here the fire, everything went that way. Then I just heard something running, breaking all these branches going up the hill, just breaking. Just you can hear it running up the hill. Then that's when everybody kind of started running, and then I kind of caught up with them, and then that's when they're like, "Did you hit it?" I said, "No, it ran up the hill." And then we were going, and then we saw the campfire from the place where we're at, and that's when we left two of the guys there. Then they had two of their both of them had their girlfriends there, and they ran to us and said that there was something going on over here while you guys were gone. I was like, what? And then they were like, we heard something grunting, making a weird sound on top of this mountain on the left side. And then I said, well, something was following us coming up this road. And then they were kind of going on and everything. So then we kind of got our composure together. We're just kind of sitting there. I go, let's just go to sleep. We'll just call it a night. I said, I think everybody's kind of real freaking out. And then I remember the fire was going down, and we were laying down. I was laying on a sleeping bag, and I had my shotgun on my chest, and I was just kind of dozed off. And then right when the fire got down to where the flames, it was like a tiny flames coming out of the fire. And then that's when we, on that hillside where those guys said they heard something, they were like, and that's when I woke up, and then I was like, what? And I was like, holy. And then that's when the other guy, my buddy with AR-15, he woke up, and then he was like, what was that? What was that? And we're looking up there on the hillside. And then that's when we kind of noticed that it was coming closer. We heard all these rocks falling down, and then that's when I looked at the fire, and I told those guys, I go, get that fire going. I go, get it like a bonfire. So they grabbed all the trees, all those logs we had, and we put it in the fire here. It made a real big bonfire again. And then that thing, it went up to the hill again. You can hear it run up, and then it was making those same grunting sounds. It was going, and I was like, oh. And then that happened around I want to say the 2 or 3 o'clock time. And then we kind of sat there, and then it did it for a long time until the sun came up. And then that's when we're like, let's just get out of here. We'll just leave. So we just kind of rolled everything. We just packed up our stuff. And then I remember too, there were sheep there. And then my buddy said that, oh, we have a sheep here that watches the sheep, so don't pay attention to the sheep. I said, oh, crap. I said, all right, no problem. So we just packed up everything. We left that next morning. And that was the first, the next encounter that happened.
Well, okay, hang on there. Let's wait. Are you done with that story? Yeah. Before we go into the 1 second. Okay, 1 second. Let's catch up with the viewers. Darren, you got any questions before we jump into the comment section?
I actually got one. It's from the AZ lineman 47. You know.
Okay, go for it.
So he says, sorry, I might have missed it, but what part of the Reds did this happen at? You don't have to be exact.
Be exact. Oh, yeah. Right here. There we go. Right here.
I'll just say the Navajo Reservation. That's all I'll say.
No.
Yeah. Right. You don't want people missing. But
because
but-
when I told that story, a lot of people were messaging me on TikTok saying, "Hey, can you show me that area?" Then I'm like, "No, I'm not gonna do that. That's because this is where the third story or the next story continues in the same area that happened. So I'll get into that one." And then,
okay.
go into your next questions.
We got one more question.
Go ahead
Did you guys see any prints? Anything? Did you guys look around?
No,
Areas?
so this area that we were in, there's that their old dirt road, and then this happened at night, and then, but we never went back to check out prints. We never went back to check out anything. But I remember that they were saying that after this encounter happened, that's when my friend told me. He said that he goes, yeah, he goes, like back then, he goes, when we got this land, when we started having these encounters, and that's when he finally told me everything that was going on. He said that it's a Bigfoot that comes in this area, not just one, but a family. He said, and he said that to where they even SUVs showed up, even a helicopter showed up, trying to, I guess, catch one of them or something like that. And then they were trying to make that land theirs, but then he said that no, this is ours, and I guess their family put up a fight against them, and that's how they were able to keep that land to themselves. Wow. But we never, like I said, that next morning we just packed up everything and we left, and we never checked it out after that.
So you guys never really made it to that second Hogan, huh?
No, we never did.
Oh dang! Wow.
Not to us, huh? There, we'll be there. I'll accidentally trip, so you guys have to stop and get me, or else. No, just kidding. Oh, right here, Vet Girl 84. She says, "Ha ha ha, Pumpkin Spice. That's me. I bug him. Oh yeah, tell him for us to Pumpkin Spice. Whoa, what happened to Oh, there he is. I was like,
sorry.
Whoa, what happened?
No,
good.
My like I said, I'm on call right now, so everybody's texting me about something going on, so I'm just trying to catch up on them.
Oh shit.
Oh snap! Okay, real quick here, I'll read these real fast. All right, G. Clark, 1777. Any stories about Navajo Mountain? Oh, probably Cameron. I don't know if he does or not, but Z Sun Dragon says Sean and his pumpkin spice hate too funny. Definitely pumpkin spice everything. Oh yeah, you go. I like pumpkin pie. Heidi Gold, good evening, Cameron. How did I not see you up there? Sorry.
I guess not. I don't know.
Okay, that was Easy Lyman's question. Stoked says, "Dang, that thing sure tests ya." Ooh, jeez, got me for a sniff. He got a sniff and he wanted to crawl in. That's what happened right here. Like Stoked, he said, "Dang, that thing sure tests ya." Got a whiff of you and wanted to crawl in. BCast 33. Hey Don, Darren, you guys said you're coming to the Farmington area. That's where I live. Any chance I can tag? Oh yeah, we need some bait. You know what I mean? No, just kidding. But yeah, point us to where the monster is. You know what I mean? We'll go whistle over there at night. Yeah. Okay. Looks like we caught up with the comment section before we push play on you, Cameron. Darren, you got any questions?
Oh no, I'm look forward to the next story you have. These are really close encounters, man. Like you can't, I don't know how you got around like that. I expect the lake out there now. This Bigfoot group of you all had. Did you record anything by chance?
So actually, that day, my buddy of mine, one of his brothers, put out his man, I think it was an old iPod Nano or something, and then he recorded those grunting sounds.
Wow!
And then I remember that we were listening to it, and he goes like, "Oh, I caught it on camera. I caught it on my thing." I go, and we're listening to it, and then all you can hear is that, "Whoa, whoa." That's all you heard. And then we're like, "What the heck is that?" And that's when my friend told us about they had a family of Bigfoot that lives there. And then I was just like, all right, thanks for the heads up. And instead of saying there's something weird out there, and I was just like, all right, no problem. But then this goes into my other story about that same area.
How close was the
Greenland Lake? Real quick, Darren. Well, sorry, real
Yeah.
quick. But in Breland Lake, we have receipts on that one. With this series that's coming out with William Jevering, we found one nest that's probably like at least 4 feet by 3 feet wide, and everything was woven. Everything, every stick from up top and side, everything was woven together like a basket, like a giant basket, and it was gorgeous. You know what I mean? It was Will's first time seeing it, and then like, for me, looking at every little piece is like, dude, something that's very intelligent created this for its baby. And we found a picture that he went back, he was taking pictures, and we found a white one looking up on the ridge near Breland Lake. So that area is pretty weird. In that area too, there's this tree on that lake. He was walking around the lake and he was looking at the bottom of the tree. So he told me, come. I was like, all right, what's he gonna show me now? I learned a lot from him. And he's like, look at that tree. I looked at the tree at the bottom and I seen 4 fingers, like someone grabbed the bark and ripped it off, and you can
Oh
see the
man,
4 fingers that are really wide, that
yeah,
are twice as wider than mine. Yeah,
like that.
yeah, 4 of them. Yep, and on a tree bark that ripped it off. And I was like, why do they do that? And he said he doesn't know, and he learned that from the I think it was the Cree or the Northwest tribes. He said they used things for medicinal purposes. But sorry, Darren, go ahead. I didn't mean to cut you off.
Yeah, no, it's fine. It's all good, bro. How far was this thing when it was crawling through the tree line? How far
It was
would you
between
just?
50 and 60 yards.
Oh, damn.
But yeah, the thing, like, a tactical shotgun's not gonna hit that far.
Mm.
So what I did was trying to scare it because, like I said, there's a point in that road where it curves and then all the trees just like pile against it. So
Mm.
like, or I was just kind of looking out for everybody's safety. Then I was just like, I was just maybe scared or whatever because I already know that thing's not gonna hit it. So that's why I just let it off to scare it. But
You're kind of like, hey, I seen you. Like,
yeah,
hey, I would have got you if I had wanted. You know what I mean? Like, hey,
yeah,
check. And then he came back pissed.
yeah.
Woo!
And then now going to my other story with the same area. And I was at work, and then the next day I was off, and then my buddy texts me out of nowhere. He goes, "Call me ASAP." And then I was like, "All right." So then call him, and then here he goes, "Hey man, I need you to come with me to that camp again because he said that we need to get up there and get the sheep because something happened up there." Then I was like, "What?" I go, "Like what?" He goes, let's just say that the sheep herder left in a hurry, and the sheep scattered,
No.
and that's when we were like, I was like, all right. And this is when I got an AR. First, I get a brand new AR-15, and I decked it out, just everything. And this is where I got my 10 mil. And I was like, all right. I said, now I'm kind of good and go. Let's just go. So I went up to my house, grabbed my stuff. He came and picked me up with two of our other buddies. So we went out there and we camped. And we're coming on that road. It goes to that place, and then he goes, hey, and one of the other guys goes, hey, you're right. He did leave in a hurry. And all that sheep herder, all his clothes were scattered on that road.
Oh shit.
And then I was like, what the heck? And then we're looking at it. And then that's when we drove into the area. He unlocked the gate, parked the truck, and he goes, we'll just sleep in the hogan. I go, all right, we'll sleep in there. And then we slept in there and everything. So he said the last point was it was where that hogan was at. It was way back in that back area. So we got up next morning. We just kind of took it easy. And I remember that I just packed my backpack full of water, had my stuff, had a flashlight, and then we started our hike looking for the sheep. And we got to, man, I remember it took us almost all the whole day. And we found their tracks. And then I said, they went this way. And then, of course, when you see a herd of sheep, they'll leave a bunch of tracks all over everywhere. And then we started following him, and that's when we found him. And then that's when my buddy was going. He was counting all the sheep. We were rounding them up. And then he goes, I'm missing 5 or 6 of them. And then I was just like, let me walk around this area toward the south. And then it goes into the trees, the real thick trees. So then I walked in there. And then just then, all those sheep came running to me. Those ones that were missing, and freaked me out. I was like, whoa. And then also, too, all of us were all armed. Everybody was armed. And then that's when I was like, all right, cool. I said, and then I kind of yelled. I said, hey, they're coming down to you. And they were coming down. And right when I turned my back, I was kind of making sure they were going down. Then that's when the wind blew, hit me in the back of the neck. And then I just smelled that skunky, dead animal or dead dog smell. And I was like, what the heck? And I turned around real quick. And then that's when my senses kicked in, hearing the hair on my neck stood up. And then I remember I just laid down on the ground. Then I was just like, what the heck? And then that's when the whole forest got quiet, when those trees, and I was just like, what the heck is going on? And I just remember looking in the trees, and then my other buddy came up right behind me. He grabbed my leg, and then I freaked out. And I looked. He goes, hey, what are you laying down for? I go, and then I grabbed him. I go, there's something here. There's something in here. And he was like, what are you talking about? And then that's when that wind blew again. He smelt it. He goes, damn. I go, that thing stinks. I go, that's that Bigfoot they talk about. And he goes, that's not his hint. That's when his eyes got real big. And he goes, we need to go. We need to go. So we left. And then we ran down that hill. Right. We got halfway down. We just heard a bunch of branches break where we're just at. We always heard something going boom. And I was like, dang. I was like freaking out. And then that's when we kind of got to the sheep and everything where we're going. And then we're pushing them back on that same trail we came in and trying to, you know how hard it is to herd sheep and trying to keep them together. Yeah. And then that's when we're going and we're getting to that canyon again. And then I said I told those guys what happened, what I smelled. And I said, no one. I said, they were on this side. Let me try to get up that hill real quick and then see what's up there. And then sure enough, I walked up that hill real quiet. And then I threw myself in the tree, like kind of just, of course I had my hood on, kind of like that. And I threw myself in the tree and I had my AR, all that. And then I was just kind of looking around, had my binoculars and I was going all that. And I kind of I have a vinyl harness and I was looking around and right when I was in get up, then that wind blew and I smelt him again. And I was like, oh crap. And then this one, the smell, I don't know if you ever experienced hunting, but you can smell when something's there and something was there. But when that thing smelled, it smelled really fresh. It smelled warm or kind of like a musky, hot kind of thing. It smelled of that. So I knew that there was something on that other side of that, this hill. And I was kept looking. And that's when I heard somebody going, then I was like, I just don't hear that. And then that's when I kind of scooped my body to the side of that tree and I rolled back and I ran down, kind of crawled down that hill. And then I told my buddy, I said that those things are up there. They're on that hill. And then that's when everybody me and my three buddies, they all freaked out. They're like, are you serious? Because come on, let's start pushing the sheep. So they started pushing the sheep again. And then my buddy goes, Cameron, he goes, get on that last hill right there. That's to be the last one where it's flat at. And then just check it out. See if they're still following us. And then that's when I went up there and I snuck up there real quiet. And then I remember I just kind of sat there again, had the wind in my face and I was smelling. And then just then, same thing, smell came back and it was worse. It was bad. It was a real bad smell. And then next thing you know, that's when I guess, of course, camo and everything was hiding in the trees again. And then that's when I saw a juvenile Bigfoot came out, just stumble out of the tree, and then it was like kind of like hunched down, and here it was going, it was smelling the air, and then I looked at it, and my eyes were just, maybe my eyes were out of my head at this time, but my eyes were just like that, and I was looking at it, and then then that's when I kind of poked up my AR all that real slow, and I had a vortex 3 to 9. So I saw everything clear, but I remember the hair was down like this on its face, and then the only thing I saw was its lips. It was like it was doing that.
Was it like throwing his lip back to its nose or something?
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
Dang. And then doing that, and then it was doing that, and I was like, and the color of it was like a dark brown mixed with a little orange and gray. It was kind of weird, and then here it was going, oh yeah, it was making that sound, and I was like, look, like I said, I was just like that. And then, of course, I felt the tension. I took it out safety, and I was like, and then in my head, I was just like, if I shoot at this thing, something big is gonna come out. And then I just kind of had it like that. And I was just waiting, and then that's when I heard something going. It was doing that, and then that little one just like it looked around and jumped down real quick, and that's when my eyes got big, and then I was like, I was frozen there for I was like I felt like forever I was frozen there, and then that's when I was like, get up, we need to go, get up, and then finally I just snapped out of it and I went and I ran, and here that's when I told my buddies I was like, I saw it, and then he goes, oh man, and then at the same time the sun was going down, and then we were pushing the last sheep, we were pushing them all back on that road and trying to push them with that. Then right we got to the Hogan, and that's when we heard that big one scream way down there, and it was like, ah! It was just a long sound, just maybe for like 5 seconds or 10 seconds. And then my buddy was like, what do we do? I said, I go, just grab the sheep and throw them in the Hogan. And because like at this point, I was freaking out, and I was trying to keep it together with everybody. And then we started pushing all the sheep into that Hogan. And then of course he had a 3 padlock system on it, and he put the padlocks on them. And then I go, get in the truck, let's just go. So then we left, and then we drove, got to the main highway, and that's when I felt I was safe, felt I was good. And I told my buddy, I said, nah, man, never again. Never going to come do this mission trip with you, rescuing sheep. I said, if I would, and that's when they were kind of like, no, you did a good thing. I said, no, if I had the choice, I would have left those sheep out there. I said, I would have took off. I go, you guys didn't see what I saw out there. And then that's how we ended it like that. When I actually saw one.
This juvenile, how tall was this juvenile? We say it's about the size of a.
It was like maybe 6'7" to 7.5.
Yeah, that's a juvenile. That's bigger than I am too, huh? So,
I still drinks milk too. Dang, just imagine how big they get. The biggest track I seen were 24 inches, bro. So I I believe you. My Bigfoot that I seen was red hair. So that's pretty awesome.
And also, did you ever talk to the sheep herder?
So after, I never follow up with him, but from what I heard, is that he came. They said one came around where he left the sheep at, and it took his. I think it said they took his radio because it was really? Yeah, and then he heard it. Then after that, he said it was throwing off at him, and that's what had enough to freak out. Then he ran back to the Hogan, grabbed all his belongings, and then left. And I guess he ran out of that area. Oh, and then to the main road, it's about almost 7 miles. So he ran a long ways or walked a long ways to get back. And then that's when he called the people that owned the sheep from a payphone at one of the gas stations, and then said, I'm done. Your sheep are still up there, but I'm not going back.
Wow.
And that was always said.
Yeah, forget the sheep. I choose life. That's what he said, man. Forget this. I choose life. Wow. Crazy Coyote says, "Oh, sorry. Well, we're gonna jump in real quick here with the comments, and then we'll jump back into your story again real fast." Crazy Coyote 13. It's no longer pumpkin spice. It's Shahart. Pink Halloween season. And then Carbear 9. Oh man, definitely these stories will get you like that. Vet Girl, hey. I love how everyone is chatting together. Cool. Rick says, howdy from New Jersey. I wish I could listen to the native oral history from local Lenape tribes. I don't think there are many left in that area. Oh, New Jersey? Interesting. Yeah, I don't know, man. Hey, everyone's chatting.
Yep.
In the chat box. Okay. Right here. Sunglass. Right here listening. Wow. Oh hey, I think I remember this profile picture from TikTok. Everyone's following you over here, Cam. That's what's up.
I know. Hey, give me 1 second, really quick. I gotta get to another or transfer this phone call really quick. Just really quick.
Okay. That's all good. All good.
Wow.
We'll be right here. Heck yeah, man. Some good stories.
Yeah, I've been meaning to ask them too. Like, how far were these sightings were the lake to the sheep area?
Oh man, I know the Breland Lake is pretty far. It's very, very remote, and that one takes about like a good minute to get to. And I know that lake is like pretty much isolated. So
sorry about
I think,
that. I had to get to a spot that was more quiet.
Oh,
My family
yeah.
came home.
Oh, hey, appreciate it. It's all good though. Now it's dark. Fits with the story now. We're getting closer to the Yannies. That's good.
Oh man.
Okay.
But yeah, guys, any question about that story?
Oh, Darren had one.
Yeah. Where the sheep herder was to that lake? What was the distance between that?
This lake, it wasn't around there. It was in a total different area.
How far were they? What was the distance between them? Would you know? A couple of 100 miles, or they went out.
Froze. Oh, it's all good. He'll come back on.
Oh, you guys hear me now?
Oh, there he is. Okay. Go ahead, Darren.
What was that again, sir?
I don't know if you heard you.
Oh, I was just curious about what the distance between these two areas were. The sheep herder and that lake. What's the separation difference between their?
I want to say at least about maybe 100 miles away from each other.
Oh shoot!
Maybe more.
Do you think it might be the same Bigfoot? I heard these Sasquatch, they're able to travel quite a distance over a night. Just for their territorial land.
Yeah, because this one that we saw that was in the at the lake, it was black with charcoal on it. But the one and the sound was different too. It was the one that we heard was sounded more kind of, how would you say it, like not so it was like not so deep, but it was right in between. But when this one we saw on this with the sheep herder, it made a real deeper sound, like it was bigger and stronger. So that's how I can tell we were different areas.
I believe that. Go ahead. Sorry.
No, because like I said, this is like maybe 100 miles or 200 miles away from each other. I want to say.
They definitely have their own territory, like in Halchita area. That one that I heard, my first one would sound more like a woman, like a crying lady, and I got closer. That's not a lady. And Navajo Mountain, that one sound like a deep, deep voice, like a male, like yelling for longer than 25 seconds. It was getting louder, and I was like, "Oh snap, that's a big boy," So, I don't know how many there is. I know in so far in Kaibito they have their own. There's a family, mom, dad, and two babies. And then Tonalea area, there's a family again. I think there's a mom and a baby, or could be two babies. So they live near people. They interact every day with that family. So I have yet to check that place out. Hopefully they'll let me. It'll be cool, so I can have some more scary stories like you.
Yeah.
But, go ahead.
But like I said, these ones were like totally different areas, and I didn't believe it until all this happened to me, and I'm just like, what the heck, what's going on? And then at this point, like that was probably like the last encounter that happened, and of course, that's when my sobriety started after all this happened.
That's good.
And after I never had an encounter ever since then until 2020 during COVID. And Henson is the one that told you this story too, my brother Henson. But what had happened was that he spent the whole day hunting elk and everything, and then this is archery. Well, all this is archery hunting that we do. And when we drove into this area that we know, I know by heart, nothing happened, nothing unusual. But we got there when it was same thing, a full moon, and it was still dark. But as we got out of the truck and everything, of course we had a way to get out and everything, and we're getting our bows. Right, we're getting our bows. That's when we heard this thing going, whoop, 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 whoop. It was doing that. And I was like, what? And then me, Hinton, and my dad, we all looked at each other. And our eyes were probably like, man, like same thing, ready to pop off our heads. And I'm like, what the heck was that? And then here, that's when we were like, it did it for maybe about 20 more seconds and it stopped. And then I was like, what the heck was that? Then right when that happened, we heard a bunch of turkeys started gobbling. A bunch of deer ran away from that sound. And then just then, the elk started bugling. And then we just completely forgot about the sound. And then that's when we ran toward the elk. We're like, they're right there. Let's go. So we left and then tried to get on them and everything, but never happened. And then after that weekend was over, we're kind of still talking about it, what that was and everything. And then I was listening to that other podcast named Sasquatch Chronicles. And I was listening more. I kind of got more intrigued about it and everything. And then next thing you know, they were talking about Sierra sounds. And then that's when I was like, what do you keep talking about this? Let me look it up on YouTube. So I looked it up, and then sure enough, heard the sound, heard everything. And I was like, and it was that same sound that we heard that morning. I was like, oh crap. And then I remember I sent it to my dad. Then I sent it to my brother Henson. And then like within maybe a minute, 2 minutes, they both called me at the same time. And they're like, where did you hear this? Where did you find this sound at? I found it on YouTube. And my dad goes, that's what we heard. And even Henson said the same thing too. That's what we heard too. So, but that was like the last encounter I had with a Bigfoot like that.
Wow. You know what I was told all younger. You know, when people start seeing when people see a Bigfoot, something happens. You know, something that happened to you, or you know, the land around you. And you know, as for you, it scared you, so you know, back to sobriety, which is a really good thing. You know, and do you think you would have got sober if it wasn't for these Bigfoot encounters?
Well, there was that one and another incident that happened, and that's what kind of got me all. Well, the incident that happened wasn't involving supernatural; it's just something that scared me straight too. So, like, right. I almost got into some real bad trouble. So, but it was kind of both those two things, and then at the same time, when my sobriety stopped, that's when I got into the house of God, and that's where everything stopped. Everything went away, and everything.
Oh yeah, so that's where you're gonna take us into your Goatman story, huh? The Metallica song. But man, before you do, I know you're leading us to there. Let me just cut to the chase because I like that story. But before you tell that one, let's catch up real quick. But yeah, Darren, it's gonna be a good story. Just hang on there. Rick says, "Howdy from New Jersey." I wish I. Oh yeah, what's up? I heard that one. Lee says, BCast, yeah, we're planning to go there in February. Yep, late February. Hope to see you there, BCast. And let's see here. Okay, I think I read that one. Okay, BCast says, wow, definitely some crazy stories. Going to have to give in and get TikTok. Oh yeah, I did too. And you know, it's very vibrant there, and information travels a lot faster there, I believe, and a lot of interaction as well. You can come on and I go live there Monday, so you can keep me company if you want. Little Sea Wolf, everyone's coming from TikTok to YouTube. Hey everybody. Little Wolf says, hey Don, Darren, yay Cam, she says.
What's going on?
Yeah. Car Bear, yeah. No, not the Yannies. Oh, not yet. Post bankruptcy Malone 09 just tuned in. Hey, from Rhode Island. I was on a night jog on a beach the other night and saw what looked like a turquoise colored orb. Ooh. Chris Blitzo recently posted a video of something weird. Definitely turquoise orb. Oh man, make sure they don't hit you. Those will chase you sometimes. Sunglass. Yes, from TikTok by Exploring YT for stream. Great stories by Cam. Definitely, definitely. Thank you for tuning in. Right here. Hey, Beck. Hey, thank you, Beck girl. Little Wolf says, oh, the Metallica story is amazing story, but I also know what it is for Cam to share. That one too. Oh, let us know. Tell us. You know all his stories more than we do. Crazy Coyote says Bigfoot have the power to scare people. Straight Iraqi combat vet in 2017 wanted to delete himself due to PTSD. He ran into a Bigfoot, scared him so bad he ran for it. Heard it on Bob Gimlin's channel. Oh man, dang! I got to take my family out Bigfooting because I got a family full of vets. All right, okay. Before we go, Darren, you got any quick questions before we
No.
Kim?
No,
Okay, all right.
you got you got a lot of backing on this Metallica. So,
Man, like, yeah.
yeah, let's get into it, man.
Tell us.
All right. Yeah, just really quick. I got a message from my boss and I have a water break, so this is probably my last story, man. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay, it's all good.
No,
No, because I accepted a foreman. I'm a plumber. I'm a foreman plumber now. So
congratulations.
Gotta go.
Yeah. So,
It's all good.
well, I'll keep it long because I mean, it's late hours, so I get overtime for it.
Get it,
All
get
right.
it.
But
Appreciate it.
yeah. So this Metallica one. Oh man, like when I think about it, it still gives me like, even when I told her on my live, and my wife heard it, she was like, calm down. You need to calm down. She texted me when I was on live. She was, you need to calm down because you're freaking out. And I was like, okay. But so this happened during the crazy years. My crazy years, I was just mentioning that 2014 to 16. But I remember that I got home, and I think my parents went shopping. It was during the time, kind of the winter time almost. And of course, I was getting high, I'll say. And then I was like, no, let me watch this show. And then at this point, I was like, of course, I was doing crazy stuff and everything. And then I turned on the TV, and then this show came up. It was called Paradise Lost. And it was a documentary on HBO, and I was watching it. Didn't know what it was about. And then here, that's when that Metallica song came up. And that was the intro to it. And then it was about, and it showed all these like people like, or these three young boys were murdered, and in a brutal fashion way. And a lot of people were saying that it was because of satanic stuff. And I was like, and at this point, I was just like paranoid watching it. And then they were talking about Satan and everything. And then that song was in my head. I felt like that song, they played that song every bit of that documentary, it seemed like. And then, of course, everything was dark. The only thing that was on was the TV. And I just sat there. And then I was looking at the window, the living room window, and I was like, I said, the TV is pointing toward the window. I said, I can see someone. If I see someone, I'll see him, but they won't see me because of the light reflection toward the window. And then I was just sitting there. And then right when the movie was ending, to hear that song came on. And then I was just like, dang, I was paranoid, and I was just freaking out about it. And that's when I looked to the window, and I saw something going like this.
Oh,
in the front of the window. And when I looked at it, I saw horns. It was it was curled like this on both ends.
oh yeah.
And then I just saw orange eyes, and it was like that. And then I was like stuck in my chair. I was just like, I need to get up. And then right when I was like, I need to move. Right when that's when I just jumped up real fast. And then I guess you can say I was getting scared, sobered. I was like, at this point, I was like full functioning of everything. And then I remember I ran back to my room, grabbed my shotgun, threw some shells in it. And then I was like, all right. Oh, no. Sorry. I jumped ahead of myself. I grabbed my 9 And then I grabbed it, and then I ran back to the window again, the living room window, and I pointed at it at the window, and it was gone. And I was like, I go, am I seeing things? Am I getting like, am I still high? I was just like freaking out about it. Then next thing you know, the back door, something started jiggling the handle real violently.
Snap.
It was like, and it was shaking, and here I felt the vibration of the door. And then next thing you know, the door got kicked open. It felt like, or like I saw. Then I had my handgun, and I just went boom, and then one round went off. Then I was standing there, and there was nothing at the door. There was nothing standing there, and I was like, I go, did I just let off a round? I was just like, I was in daze. I was just like freaking out, and I kept the handgun on the door. Then I looked down on the ground, and sure enough, there was a shell casing on the ground. And I ran over there. I pushed the door, and I hurried and put the deadbolt back on it, and I threw a bunch of stuff on the door. And then that's when I was like, oh, let me call somebody. So I ran to the kitchen, grabbed the kitchen phone, and I remember I dialed 911, and then it went to a buzzer tone, and then that I just hung up the phone, and then I ran, and I was like, oh, let me grab my shotgun. So I ran back into my room. Right when I got halfway between the kitchen to my room, the phone rang. I go, oh, it's 911. They probably star 69 me, and then I answered it. I didn't even look at the caller ID. I just answered it. I go, hello. I go, police, and I said that. And then right when I said that, then that's when on the voice something goes, there's nothing coming. Someone's coming for you. Or then I was like, what? And then I just hung up the phone, and I freaked out. And that's when I grabbed my shotgun, threw a bunch of shells in it, and then I kind of right when I got in my room, I kind of poked my head into my parents' room, and that's when I saw it again.
Oh, snap.
The horns, and it was walking. I just saw the moonlight of it, and then it was that I was like, oh crap. And then I was gonna shoot right there, but I was like, oh no. So I can't do that. So then I ran all the way back to the living room, and then I put the phone down on the table, and I got ready. I go, if it's gonna come to that door, I'm just gonna let off a round. Then that's when the front door started shaking again. And that right when I did that, I called 911. I got the phone ring again. Here, it was my mom and my dad. They called. It was them, and I was like, I go, hey, you guys need to get home as fast as you can. There's something here. And then they're like, what? And they drove. And then I called 911 because I don't know where they were at because the phone cut out. And then I called 911 again. Right when they answered, they go, hello, Navajo Police. And I go, no, I go, everything's okay. I said, an officer's here, but it was my parents. And I just hung up the phone on them. And then that's when I told them what happened. And they were like, are you okay? Like they thought I was off my meds. I go, no, something was here. Something was right here. So then me and my dad we went outside looking around the house. And that night we saw cow prints, hoof prints by the window and around the house. Then my dad goes, did you leave the gate open? Did some cows come in? I said, no. I said, everything was locked up. I don't know what would make these tracks in here. He goes, well, whatever it is, it's fine. It's okay. We're home. Nothing's going to happen. And then that's when my mom started burning cedar in the house, started smudging the whole place. And then I was like, never again. And then that's what scared me, like freaking sober after that. And even till this day, if I hear that song, I just turn off the radio. I'm like, nope, I'm good. I just put it on mute. And I know a lot of people on the TikTok, they put the name of the song. I go, nope, I'm not going to play that. I go, that's a traumatizing song for me from here on out.
Wow.
But that's my Metallica song story.
Well, what was the duration for this? How long did this event happen?
Man, it maybe happened for like, for me, it happened for maybe about at least 20 to 30 minutes. It happened.
Shit, so, wow. Why do you think this thing was watching you? What do you think it was trying to get out of it? You know?
I think because
this is near Gallup, because Gallup has Goatman. But sorry.
This one happened in Arizona. But the way I tell people, I said that at this point in my life, when I was going through that craziness, I was like, I was trying to find ways to commit suicide because I went through that bad separation. I went through that, and I was just like, no one doesn't love me. No one doesn't care about what happens to me, and that was my mindset.
Mm.
Like that whole 3 years, it was just like that. That's all I thought about. I was like, I'm not important to anybody. I'm not. I said, if I leave this world, no one's not going to care who I am. Or no one will even cry at my funeral. And I said, even to where I said, my mom, and my dad will be happy about it.
Man.
And then, but yeah, go on.
You know, don't yeah, you know, like, man, don't think like that. You know, don't put that stuff on you. One of the things about death is, you know, no one knows nothing about it, and you know, the people you don't think that's gonna care about you, you know, they're gonna be there crying, you know, and it's one thing to go through life thinking that you're alone, you know, it's a terrible thought, you know. I've been there myself, you know, and you know, I wish they say, you know, you should always get help, but you know, it's the mindset. You're playing the doctor and you're playing the patient, you know, like what works best for you, you know, and you know, I'm glad, you know, you got out of it, you know, you came back, and you know, you're here with us, you know, and thank you for what, you know, you took care of yourself, you know,
Thank you for your time.
Very good, yeah, and
because like I said, that was like my mindset for 3 years straight, and no one, I maybe they knew about it, but I was just like, I kind of kept to myself even from my own family, and I was just, I'm okay, I'm good, kind of thing like that.
Good.
And then
all good now.
Yeah,
you made it.
Yeah, even to where it was one of my friends that invited me to church, and in my mentality of church was like, God's not real. God, like I even said stuff like that, crazy stuff like that, and how I hit rock. That's when that happened. I hit rock bottom again, and that's when my friend was like, "Hey, you know, I invite you to church. You always shut me down, but we're having it tonight again." And I was like, thought about it myself, and I was like, you know what? I'm at rock bottom. There's nothing left to do except let me just do that. I have nothing better to do with my life. So when that happened, I started going, and then that's when I got forgiveness. I felt that, and then a few months later, that's when I found my wife. Because I even told, like, the first time I ever prayed again, I said, I go, God, I go, if there's someone out there for me, let them be righteous, let them be holy, let them be someone for me. I said that if I had to wait 10 years, 20 years, I said, I don't mind waiting now. I said, I'll listen to you from here on out. And then sure enough, 5 months later, found my wife, we dated, and then 5 months or 4 months, we got married.
Right on.
Congratulations.
Congratulations. Yeah, that's what they say in the Bible, though. A good wife is more valuable than, you know, the rubies. Yeah, gold and rubies, you know,
precious jewelries, stones. Yep.
Just
for sure, man.
finding a good wife like that. So
yeah.
But you know, do you think this thing wanted to see, you know, Lodge Tales Ron? You know, he brought this up, and you know, it's a good concept that he brought up was his alcohol spirit. You know, and you know, we talk about it on our our group chat, and you know, these spirits, they come with the, you know, they look for the debauchery, you know, drunkenness, and you know, high. They look for it, and you know, they kind of feed off it too. I would say, you know, it manifests, it attracts them, you know. So do you think this thing was attracted to that, just to everything that was going on in your life?
Yeah, I think I had a part of it, and then even to where one of my cousins, he's married to a Zuni. Then not too sure. I'm not like I said, I'm not an expert about Zuni culture or anything, but she told me about mountain spirits. And
mountain spirits,
yeah. And then she said that they come and check on you, and if you're not doing good, they take you. Then I'm just like,
oh,
because this one time I went wood hauling, and I heard something going, "Hey," just like plain as day, middle of the woods, and I was like, "What the heck?" And I was by myself too. And then next thing you know, I heard a whistle, and then something goes over here, like, I was like, what the heck? And then I just remember it freaked me out so much where I was finished cutting my logs, threw it in my truck, and I left.
Wow.
And then the next time I went back to the mountains again, I saw something walking up this road, and it was like kind of wobbling. It was just like, it was like going like this, like how you wobble walking. It was doing that.
Mm.
And then I woke. I thought I was half asleep, and I actually woke up, and then there was nothing there. And then, of course, I was getting ready for hunting season too. All this was during hunting season, and I went to go put some cameras up in this area which you got to walk into. There's no roads, nothing. You got to walk into it. And when I was coming back to the truck, then something goes. When I was halfway up the truck, something goes, "Help me!" Just plain as day in the middle of the woods. And then I was like, "Oh heck no!" So I took off, got in my truck, and I just drove off the mountain. And then that's when I told my cousin and his wife about it. And then later on, she's like, not to get you scared, but these things are called mountain spirits. And if you're doing okay, they come check on you. If you're doing okay, they leave you alone. But if you're planning to do something crazy or you live in this crazy life, that's when they get you, and you vanish without a trace. She was telling me that. But never. That was like the first time I ever heard something about that, and I was just like, kind of. I was like, maybe I need to get my life back together.
Wow. What part of Arizona is this? Did this happen?
It's it's actually my hometown. It's called Sawmill, Arizona.
Oh shoot, I haven't heard that name for a while.
That area, there's a story of a native lady that flies over, especially on that pass, Narbonne Pass. It's like 3 a.m. She flies overhead and all like in leather, like a leather dress and beaded, and it's all white. And she has a face that has like a skeleton with long hair, and she's screaming, flying right over the highway. So, mountain spirits, that probably could possibly be it. But yeah, sorry. Go ahead.
That's where it happened at. And then even till this day, my mom and them said they still have some crazy experience up there. Even to where my mom went to open up the gate one night, and then something goes behind the house.
Wow. But is there any? Did you ever hear anybody talk about this goat man in that town?
No.
Did you ever hear anything?
No.
So so the goat man encounter took place in a Sawmill as well, because Lee said that. Sawmill. I ran into my goat man in Douglas Mesa outside of Miami Valley. So I think he does travel. Then I heard that he stays in like Red Mesa, and also by that mesa, just right at the ridge line where Shiprock ends. Remember that long spine? There's a mesa where it ends. They say he lives on that mesa. That's where I heard as well. That's pretty crazy stories though. But Cam, thank you for. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
No, like I said, like when I first saw this thing, I thought it was Satan himself. That's what it felt like.
Yeah.
Same here.
That's what I felt the most. But I never thought of a goat man, but something kind of similar to that, because like when I think about goat man, I think the horns, the horns are small on it. But this one here, it was like this
ram.
It was like a ram almost, a full curl ram, and that's where I kind of thought like Satan.
There's a pictograph that I posted on TikTok yesterday. It's like a goat man coming out of a portal here in Utah. There's a lot of pictographs of a man on 2 legs with horns. There's weird pictographs everywhere, so it might be the same character, huh?
Yeah, probably.
And also,
he has a bell too in Gallup. He rings a bell. So keep your ears open in Gallup, Ken, when you're down there.
Oh man, I'm always on alert. But like I said, when I go do these stuff like hunting, or if I'm in the woods, like I tell everybody, I said when I'm out there, my senses, they dial like to freaking 10, and I can smell, hear, and just feel things that are off. And I'm just like, okay, like that's how I kind of know and everything, all that. But like I said, till this day, I'm still going hunting. I still go up there, and I still do everything I love, because nothing doesn't stop me from doing that.
Right.
Because that's my true passion.
Yep. before
Man,
we had
definitely.
this, we're doing this interview where Don and I were talking. It's to I mentioned like you don't let nothing take your joy. You don't let that you don't let people do that or anything do that to you.
Yeah.
That was just some um, St. Carlos Apache knowledge that was just handed to me too one time, and it makes sense. It makes sense. Like don't worry about it. You're doing good. Whatever makes you happy. Do it,
Yeah.
pursue it. So, uh, on that note, thank you for joining us. And then a lot of weird stories. I'm pretty sure you still have some more going on
It's a
right
lot
now.
more.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I have a lot more, and like I said, like this no, like I told my wife, I said this new position that I accepted. It's just, how would you say it? Like people like
Responsibility.
they're like more adult responsibility, and I'm like, man, I got to answer my phone here and there, emails. I go to some stuff I'm not used to yet, but I'm getting used to it now.
right, man. Yeah, get it, Doug. Get it. Um,
Make sure the elbows isn't cheesy too. Now you're
I know,
rubbing
right?
elbows with you don't want to start a fire on the white man's elbow.
Yeah.
Ah,
Oh man, no
I'm
problem.
just joking.
But
Heck
uh,
yeah.
hey,
Hey man,
maybe
you
next
are
podcast
setting
I'll
a
come.
good example. Oh,
yeah.
sorry, go ahead.
Oh no, I'll say yeah. If you guys ever have a next podcast, I'll tell the rest of my other stories too.
Oh yeah.
Because I even
Definitely.
told,
Definitely.
I even said on TikTok, I said I have one of my mom's hospital chronicles, her stories.
The clown. He has a
Yeah,
clown
Wait.
story
or
too.
the clown story is actually mine, not hers. But she has like
Oh,
stuff that she
okay.
ran like with a bunch of
Oh
gangs.
yeah.
Clown.
Ooh.
You gotta just give me a little piece of that one, man, because I'm really curious about this clown entity, and uh, it's one thing that I'm curious about.
Yeah, this one is actually the old Fort Defiance Hospital.
Mm.
Oh man.
We were told that there was a clown there, and to where I'll kind of give you a preview, but my sister's friend, they used to run cross country together. But one morning she went running early in the morning, and she saw that clown standing by the hospital, and I don't know how long they stood there for, and they kept telling her to like making hand signals to come here. Then when she was frozen, scared, it started doing flips toward her.
Oh,
Yeah, and
Wow.
then and then my story was we went there on Halloween night because it was abandoned already, and me, my friend, and two girls went with us, and we got a tour by the security guard that was securing the place, and we went to the second floor, and then we heard that honking sound they make. And then when I
oh
turned
yeah.
around, I turned down that long hallway, and then I saw the the big red shoes, the flappy shoes, and then the orange pants, the baggy pants. And yeah, that'll probably be like another time when you guys host me again.
Oh
when
yeah,
I'm out
man.
Oh yeah.
when I'm out on call.
Yeah, man. That's just creepy. Seeing a clown like that.
We can. Oh
Mm,
man, we can do a
yeah.
pre-record if you want, but everyone likes live. But we'll definitely look into the schedule and definitely start booking right after your show. But man, woo, man, thank you for your time, and like to say that you keep doing what you're doing. You're doing a good job, and you're setting a good example for the younger Dene out there. Everyone needs to get to work, do something out there, instead of just doing nothing, and have a purpose in life, as a young man, and just be honest as you can. And, clean money is dirty equals dirty hands, and that's good, you know.
Yeah.
Mm.
And yeah, I like to say again, thank you for your time and your stories, and definitely look forward to having you back again for part two.
Mm.
Hey,
Darren,
Man,
you got anything you want to say?
uh, yeah, one more on the scope. How tall do you think the scope man was? And did you see the facial features pretty good?
never saw the facial features. It was just dark, and then the eyes glue.
Ooh,
And then the height of it was about maybe 6'1", 6'2".
uh,
Oh man, that's a big guy.
wow.
Yeah, because the windows that goes up it's kind of the big windows, and they go up to about almost 7 feet tall. Then right there you
Oh
have the
man.
the, the roof, the roof, the gutter of the roof right there.
And Also, did it leave a smell? Did you already feel it around you when
No,
you know?
I never felt anything because, like I said, and then when the only thing, the only contact I had was just seeing it. That's it. No smell, no hearing it. Just straight saw it standing by the window.
And
Oh man.
one more. What does your parents have to say about it? What are they still live there in that
Yeah,
house?
they still live in that house till this day. But they always smudge their house. They always say prayers. My mom's a prayerful woman, and they always basically keep it at bay, I guess, or whatever goes on at their house, they keep it at bay too. Because
Keep that bubble.
even the part two, I'll tell about my dad got witched too. I'll talk about that one too. That one was a crazy story that happened. So, but a lot of things happened, and that was like part of one real thing that happened at my parents' house that was kind of traumatizing. And then, yeah,
Yeah. Some good stories. What a way to start the new year. Thank you for coming on again. Woo, man. We got the comment section lighting up here, man. We got a Navajo says Ronald McDonald. That girl says, thank you. Great stories. Little Wolf says, thank you, Cam, for sharing your stories. I really enjoyed hearing your stories. You and I, Little Wolf. Navajo says, you skipped my comment. Y'all are going to Farmington? No, I read your comment earlier, or I think I read BCast. But yes, we are going to Farmington, hopefully, end of February. Um, yeah, our little team's coming on, and you guys are more than welcome. Just reach out to us, email, and all that. And uh, I think I think I read all the comments for you, Kim. And like we said again, thank you, brother. And right here, Crazy Coyote says Sawmill, Arizona is right in the middle of Bigfoot slash paranormal slash portal territory. Oh, the goat man in the portal, man. That is very, very, that could connect right here. Maddie the Baddie. Hey, he was on New Year's, everybody. We got another TikTok celebrity walked in on us. And speaking of celebrity,
Hey, what's up,
we
Maddie?
got Randy Caveman right here. The Randy Caveman Yazzie right here. What's up? Say hello to everybody.
What's up?
Say hello, everybody. But yeah, but yeah, man, we don't want to keep you too long. You might get in trouble. Appreciate everything you do
uh,
for everyone out there.
hey, no problem. Like I said, like I tell my coworkers, I said Superman doesn't take a break, so I had to go over there.
Right.
Oh yeah, because they need you around because you got some Skinwalker stories because they're afraid of you because you have that cougar pelt. That's why they
Yeah,
need you. You
yeah,
got some good Yanny stories.
yeah. I got some too, and then even well, I wasn't gonna say that. Even on, I think it was on Sean's. They I was telling a story when I was at work, and then one of my coworkers scared me, and then Sean recorded. I was like, "Bah!" Like, I got so scared because like my unit's dark, and then all I saw was eyes like that on my window, and I freaked out. But yeah, I think Sean has that reaction on his TikTok story or his TikTok
Oh
feed.
yeah. That's what's up, man. I'll definitely check it out. But yeah, man. Other than that, though, you want to say laters to everybody?
Yeah, hey man, hey, thank y'all, and thanks for tuning in, and appreciate it.
Oh yeah.
And like I said, ready to start the new year off with some stories.
Right.
Heck yeah,
Yep.
definitely.
Can't wait to hear it. Can't wait to hear it, man. This goat man character and this clown entity, it's starting to come out, a bit more. Uh, Man, scary, bro.
Yep, we're shedding light on the topic
Yeah,
here, everybody. You
put a
get it
nice
here.
light on it. So
Oh yeah. Next, we
Yeah,
gotta
so
laugh. See if we can laugh with the clown. Get. See if we can
yeah,
go down there. I
oh
don't
man,
know if
but
I can flip. I can roll though.
oh man, tell me about it. Even like when I told that one about the clown, everyone was like, but his ass, but they tore down that hospital already, so now it's just to a
Oh,
foundation.
oh,
So now it's just a flat area, nothing there. And I'm just like, all right, that's good.
mm,
No one's
yeah,
even exploring it.
yeah. I have some
we're
questions. I have some
best.
questions definitely, but when it comes down to this clown, but when we'll get there in part two for sure. Uh, uh, you got any last? Let's we're running down to it. You got any words of wisdom for the viewers, people are going that are going through these experiences, and by themselves. Do you have anything to say to
Well,
encourage?
I I kind of tell everybody if they go out to the woods or if they go anywhere, I always say keep your nose in the air and your ear to the ground because you can actually pick these things up if you pay attention more.
Right. Right.
So that's
Nice.
what those are my things I will say to people if they ever go out to the woods looking for Bigfoot or these beings. But like I said, just keep your nose in the wind and ear to the ground because you eventually smell them or hear them.
Right. 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 That's that's gonna be one thing we're gonna take with us too when we start doing these investigations too. We got a couple of tips on how to go about getting this Bigfoot character, but I'm pretty sure we will.
Mhm. Oh yeah, well I have you here, Cam. This springtime, after we get done with Alaska, we're gonna come back to the Navajo Nation, and we want to start filming for season 2 and season 3. And yeah, we just can't wait to work with you, and hopefully, we'll have your back, and you'll have our back, and we'll definitely rearrange your underwears, get scared or something, and be like, hey man, we're brothers now. I
Yeah,
didn't
no
run. I
problem.
swear I didn't run. No.
Yeah, like I said, for me, like I said, it's just like being out there in the woods since I was 8. I mean, you can tell when something's off. You can tell when these things are around. You can like I tell everybody on TikTok. I said that when something's around, and you can feel it. You can feel the energy. The energy is the main thing. But if you don't have like that hunting sense, I want to say that's where everything is just different. I would say, but that's how I kind of keep my like I said. That's my quote is keep your nose in the air and your ear to the ground because that's how you can pick up these things.
Mm,
Even for
yep.
people that are like the city people, I would say the yuppies. I mean, it's a good thing to learn how to do your train your senses to be like that.
Right. For sure. For sure.
Yeah.
Um,
Your senses are very valuable. Yep, definitely. Other than that, though, um, yeah,
yep.
I think we'll read these questions real quick here. Howdy go, gratitude, Don and Cameron. Hey, thank you. Scooter operator says I feel it when somebody feels it when somebody staring at me. Oh, definitely. Hey, Z Sun Dragon, good night. Thank you guys all for saying hi and talking with us. Thank you. Crazy Coyote says Pennywise got a taste for fry bread.
Yep.
Oh man. Randy Yazzie. I try to make time to talk with you guys. Just get too busy, but one day we'll get to do it. Definitely, man.
Yep.
Definitely would like to
Sure.
sit down with you too, man. There's a lot of things that we can all learn from you. Um, and then right here, Little Wolf C says, can't wait for the hospital stories too.
Yep.
K Bear, take it easy for 2026. Have a good night. Oh man, Skitter operator. He says, "Damn, I missed it." All right, Cam, we'll have Cam retell his stories for you. No, I'm just kidding. That girl, I went looking for you. We're all in alternate chat. And Maddie the baddie, Cam's stories are chief kiss. Oh,
Hmm.
oh wait. He says, "Oh, he meant to say top tier." And then that girl. Oh yeah. And then Faith. Did I miss your show? Yes,
No.
Miss Faith Greg, you did, but it's all good. It'll be available for you guys to rewound and watch because there's a lot of good information that Cam gave us. He shared about the lip flip, like everyone talks about, how they smell. And people think about the wood knock, and some people say it's the sound of their tongue popping so they can smell the air. So, we have yet to check that out, and yeah, and I'd like to say everyone that joined us from Sean Kelly's Into the Night podcast before us, thank you very much. And please, like I said, send him some pumpkin spice for us for during the night. Um, Other than that, though, we'll close out the show right now. Cam, thank you once again for joining us. It's been a blast. Been looking forward
Yep.
to having you on this podcast for a while. Next, we'll probably get you on, if you have time, we'll get you on another podcast called William Jennings Creek Devil. So he does mainly Bigfoot stuff. So, no
Yep.
worries about getting into the goat man.
No, no
There's
problem.
just Bigfoot.
Mm,
Yep. But yeah, I'll close out the show right now, and
yep.
you guys hang tight. All right. Here goes. Thank you for tuning in to Don't Whistle at Night. We have been broadcasting live here on the United Public Radio Network, 107.7 FM in New Orleans. You guys have a great night, and make sure you guys don't whistle at night, and have a great one.
Yep.
Welcome to Don't Whistle at Night podcast, where Navajo legends echo in the shadows. Darren and Dawn will guide you through the sacred fire of native storytelling, where the old stories breathe, the unknown walks among us, and voices, long hidden, rise to be heard. And remember, don't whistle at night.